Happening now, a Jamestown landlord is speaking out after her tenant, months behind on rent, leaves her apartment in ruin. Plus, the latest in Governor Andrew Cuomo's sexual misconduct scandal. We hear from one of his accusers next.
Well, a live look over Findlay Lake shows you those partly sunny skies, but some snow's going to be on the way for the first half of the weekend. We'll talk about it in detail next as the news at noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now as we close out the first week of March. I'm Justin Gould. Congressman Tom Reed has spent his early days exploring a bid for New York State's governor, blasting current Governor Andrew Cuomo for allegations of sexual harassment, as well as his handling of COVID-19 in nursing homes. Cuomo is currently under investigation in both instances, and those interested in running will be watching to see whether he will be removed from office as they determine their political future. The congressman, however, says that he will not base his decision to run for governor on a removal or resignation.
I'm seriously looking at this race, regardless if Andrew Cuomo is the candidate or not. That is not the deal breaker, if you would. I know some folks are looking at it and they're trying to figure out if it's going to be Andrew Cuomo or not, and that's going to be a determinant factor whether or not they run to win, so to speak. I would be running because I believe in the fact that we need to not have one-party control. We need to not have Andrew Cuomo in the office. But at the end of the day, I think there's a better way to govern in Albany.
Now, Reed expects to make a decision soon as he continues to meet with stakeholders on the matter and talk with his family. Well, a Jamestown landlord is speaking out after one of her apartments was left ruined by her tenant, who hasn't paid rent in months because of New York's moratorium on evictions. As WNY News Now's Claire Galt explains, the owner of a multi-dwelling apartment house on Stowe Street here in Jamestown wants the state to know what some New Yorkers are doing to take advantage of the system.
Everybody else has paid their rent. I don't have anybody. I have one person that's $200 behind, and that is just because I allowed them to use the money for something else to help them out. Even the people that struggled a little bit at the beginning, once their either unemployment or their stimulus check came, they all came up to date.
Despite the fact that Patty Culleton's tenant hasn't paid rent for several months, she knew she couldn't evict him as he claimed to have coronavirus. The situation was financially hard on Culleton, who had to continue to pay the tenant's utilities despite having no income coming in. After months of back and forth with her tenant, Culleton thought she would find some relief when he announced he was moving out. However, she found the complete opposite, and he had abandoned the apartment and left it in total ruin.
When I pushed the door open, I was bombarded with these flies. Like, this is February. We shouldn't have flies everywhere. The smell was horrific. The flies were everywhere. And then the filth speaks for itself. And I just got angry. I wanted to cry. I wanted to throw up. I didn't know what to do.
She says the filth stretched from every end of the apartment.
Probably this room here, which would have been the master bedroom, was probably the worst. When I pushed the door open, there was obviously a very large dog living in, there's candy everywhere, but if you look, there's dog feces everywhere around me, and there's piles of dog hair and the markings from a very large dog cage on the floor. A lot of health, dirty bandages, dirty bags, dirty gloves, suckers, spilled pop, just things that a normal average person would pick up as the stuff happened. Nobody in their right mind would just keep living around dog feces.
In the end, Culleton hopes that landlords like herself take notice of the situation and prevent it from happening at their property.
If what I've gone through helps somebody else not have to go through this, it would be fantastic. But my ultimate hope is that the people in Albany that have told all of these people, it's okay. Your landlord can't throw you out for paying your rent, for not paying your rent. It's okay. It doesn't give these people a reason to live in utter filth, live like a pig, take advantage of a landlord, not respect what's not yours in the first place. Albany needs to know what's going on in these situations.
Claire Galt, WNY News Now.
Claire, thank you. As for the cleanup effort, the landlord tells us she plans to hire a professional cleaning company. So far, several quotes for the job estimate it will cost hundreds of dollars to simply start. Well, legislation that directs surplus agricultural products to a local food bank has passed in New York State Senate. Senator George Borrello, who partnered with a downstate lawmaker to create the act, says the bill's passage moves the Nourish New York program another step forward to becoming permanent. He says the Farm to Food Bank program was drafted after he heard feedback from farmers and food bank alike last year. The two groups equally faced challenges during the height of the pandemic, with farms having a tough time selling some products and food banks having a hard time keeping their shelves stocked. The senator says over the past 11 months, the effort has grown into a vital new channel for moving fresh farm products to those in need. Well, Jamestown City Council is expected to discuss purchasing a new explosive detection canine during their work session meeting coming up on Monday. According to the agenda for the meeting, local lawmakers will confer on the subject. Now, last month, Faulkner Manufacturing Company RAND started a fundraising campaign in an effort to raise money for the needed police canines. The Jamestown Police Department is looking to deploy a dog trained to specifically detect explosives and gun casings. Thanks to an $8,500 donation by RAND, the city will be able to afford the additional canine at no cost. The canine will not be purchased, though, until spring 2022, when the training school is expected to reopen. Furthermore, $250 was also donated by Sloan Mushlin, a local insurance company on Spring Street here in Jamestown, to help cover the costs associated with the department's latest edition, Hope, a Comfort Dog. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of local news headlines this Friday afternoon. And we love to hear from you as well. So let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. Great to see Sean. Good to see Diana. Great to see Penny, Todd, and Tom as well. Hopefully you all are having a great Friday. Well, now let's get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with that. Happy Friday, Dakota.
Happy Friday, Justin. Happy Friday to you. We made it to the end of another work week, and it's going to be a windy, kind of dry for the most part Friday. This is a live look over the Warren City Bank, and yeah, just on cue, you see the camera kind of shaking left and right a little bit with that northwest wind of 16. So it is going to be a breezy day today, but man, how about the sunrise this morning? Our own Sean Sweatman sent this into us this morning, and man, I mean, you know, the sunset was great last night. If you actually looked out after midnight, you saw some of the clouds in the sky and also the sunrise this morning. And of course, Hunters WX on Twitter and the First Defense weather page is how you can send us your pictures and videos. We have a few clouds showing up across the southern tier right now, partly sunny skies right now, but we will see a few snow showers later this afternoon. 29 was the high yesterday. We started the day at 12 here at the airport, and 65 and 15 below zero are the record highs and lows. So through the afternoon today, cold, a brisk wind chill, partly sunny, late day scattered snow showers, and not everybody's going to see a snow shower today. 24 to 31 high temperatures. Look at this wind with wind gusts possibly up to 35 to 40 miles per hour. A little bit more snow tomorrow, then a big warm up comes our way for next week. How warm? We'll tell you about it in detail with that 42 degrees and sunny 7-day forecast later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you. A new report now is backing up claims that aides for Governor Andrew Cuomo altered nursing home death data to show fewer deaths than there were. An article by the New York Times claims that top aides, including Secretary to the Governor Melissa DeRosas, worked to rewrite a report by state health officials to hide how many nursing home residents died during the pandemic. Now, none of those people have any public health experience. The Times saying that the state's data had the death toll nearly 50% higher than what was being publicly cited by Cuomo's administration. The paper, citing interviews and documents that they reviewed, the Cuomo administration has been facing increasing pressure for transparency on its handling of nursing home deaths during the pandemic. Much of the criticism surrounding a March 25th directive that sent recovering COVID patients back into those homes. As the voices of the governor's critics grew louder, a January report by the New York Attorney General's office found that the Department of Health may have undercounted the number of COVID-19 deaths in those homes by as much as 50%. And one of the women accusing New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual harassment speaking out now. As Athena Jones reports, Charlotte Bennett says Cuomo asked her inappropriate questions about her sex life while she was an aide.
Former aide to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, Charlotte Bennett, speaking out, recalling the June conversation she had with him in his office where she believes he tried to proposition her.
He explains at that point that he is looking for a girlfriend. He's lonely, he's tired.
You've just finished dictation, and the governor is telling you he's lonely and looking for a relationship.
Yes. He asked if I had trouble enjoying being with someone because of my trauma.
Bennett says Cuomo went on to ask her if she had ever slept with older men, a question the 25-year-old says she interpreted as an attempt to sleep with her.
He asked me if age difference mattered. He also explained that he was fine with anyone over 22.
And how old are you?
25.
What were you thinking as he's asking you these questions?
I thought, he's trying to sleep with me. The governor's trying to sleep with me. And I'm deeply uncomfortable, and I have to get out of this room as soon as possible.
In a contemporaneous text exchange shared with CBS News, Bennett says to a friend the governor, quote, talked about age differences in relationships. Her friend replied, wait, what? Did he do something? Bennett answered, no, but it was like the most explicit it could be. Bennett says initially she felt shame at the thought of coming forward.
I feel like people put the onus on the woman to shut that conversation down. And by answering, I was somehow engaging in that or enabling it, when in fact I was just terrified.
I now understand that I acted in a way that made people feel uncomfortable. It was unintentional, and I truly and deeply apologize for it.
It's not an apology. It's not an issue of my feelings. It's an issue of his actions. The fact is that he was sexually harassing me, and he has not apologized for sexually harassing me. And he can't even use my name.
Athena Jones reporting. Athena, thank you. Bennett is one of two former aides who have come forward and alleged sexual harassment by the governor. A third woman has also come forward saying Cuomo made an unwanted advance at a wedding reception. The governor has directed the state's attorney general to open investigation into his alleged behavior. Next, hear the latest in when federal stimulus deal will be reached in Washington. And later, we go live to the Chautauqua County Humane Society for our Pet of the Week segment. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues on this Friday.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Honest Jones has what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm and real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Not loving your internet speeds? Well, a bipartisan group of senators is hoping to change that. Yesterday, they sent letters to the Department of Agriculture and Commerce, the Federal Communications Commission, and the National Economic Council. The letters calling for an increase in broadband services nationwide. They want officials to raise the federal definition of high-speed internet. It now stands at internet speeds around 25 megabytes per second for download. It's 3 megabytes per second when it comes to uploads. The senators want both of those speeds bumped up to 100 megabits per second. While most of us were sleeping, the 628-page COVID-19 relief bill was being read aloud, a process that went well into this morning. As Britt Conway reports, Democrat leaders promise they'll pass this bill before next week with or without the Republicans' support.
Closing in on the weekend, and Senate Democrats are down to the wire.
We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go.
Scrambling to put their final touches on the COVID-19 relief bill, including a compromise between the White House and moderate Democrats to narrow eligibility for the next round of stimulus checks to make it mirror House levels, capping out checks for individuals making more than $80,000 and joint filers making twice that. 2 rail and bridge projects will be stripped from the bill, and the minimum wage bump has been taken out too. Once the bill does get to the Senate floor, one senator says he'll demand it be read out loud in its entirety, an unusual move that will take about 10 hours. Then there will be up to 20 hours of debate, followed by a vote-a-rama, which is essentially an opportunity for Republicans to offer amendments to the bill.
I expect a hearty debate and some late nights.
He's right, not a single Republican is expected to vote for the bill, and they're gearing up for a messy fight.
Vast catalog of liberal spending with basically no relationship whatsoever to beating COVID-19.
This whole bill, in my opinion, gets an F grade because it fails to do what it's supposed to do.
I'm not going to get punked into voting for a bill that helps Pelosi bail out California.
As the president makes a final push,
staying unified,
knowing every Democrat needs to be on board to get this bill over the finish line. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. Once the Senate votes on it, they'll send it back to the House for a final approval and then to President Biden for his signature. Well, this week's federal job report is out and Wall Street reacting positively. The economy added 379,000 jobs last month. That's much more than economics expected. Investors responded with a jump in pre-market stock trading today. February's unemployment rate also decreased slightly, down 6.2% from January's 6.3%. It was expected to remain flat. The unemployment rate shows how many people sought jobless benefits and does not reflect those who dropped out of a job market entirely. Well, 11 leaders in Chautauqua County government and business sectors have been recognized for their work. In government, Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell was among State Assemblyman Andrew Goodell and State Senator George Borrello, who were named in the top 25 of Buffalo Business First Power 250 list. Wendell says he's honored and very proud of the county for making a positive impact. Now, in the business sector, the CEO of the Resource Center, President and CEO of Lakeshore Savings Bank, and plant manager at Cummings were also recognized. Additionally, the CEO of the Gebbe Foundation, President and CEO of Heritage Ministries, and President of the Chautauqua Institution made the list. Finally, the president and CEO of Hart Hotels, as well as the founder of the Crow Group, were recognized for their work opening the Chautauqua Harbor Hotel in Celeron. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we get a check of some local news headlines. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below, or simply say hello. We'd love to hear from you. Well, now let's switch gears a bit and get a full check of our weather forecast. We already checked in with Dakota a little bit earlier, but I know, Dakota, everybody's looking towards that 7-day forecast because coming up, I hear it's going to be pretty warm.
Oh yes, spring is finally going to be springing, or spring will finally spring across the area. But before that, let's take a look at the snowfall because we are running below normal snowfall here. The snowfall deficit continues to grow for the season. 57.7 is our current snowfall total for the season. Look at last year at 75.5, 97.7 in 2018, and we had over 100 inches in 2017. So we are way below average for snowfall, and I'm not making any promises, but it looks like we may end this season below normal snowfall. But it was a chilly start this morning. 8 in Little Valley, 9 Salamanca, 9 Clymer, 10 Olean, 10 Randolph, 12 in Frewsburg, and 14 at Lakewood, officially 12 at the Jamestown Airport. So it was a chilly night. So why was it so cold? Well, it has to do with something called radiational cooling. Well, what happens here is when we have clouds in the sky at night, the warm air from the ground rises up into the sky. Well, with the clouds in the way, it actually kind of sends some of that radiation back to the ground. But when there's no clouds in the sky and it's a mainly clear night, all that warmth is able to escape up into the sky, so the ground cools a lot quicker. So that is why on clear nights, it often gets relatively cool at night. So that's the reason why it was so chilly this morning. With those clouds not in the way, those temperatures dropped like a rock by the morning hours. Lots of clouds around on the HD News Now cam. 25 as a noon hour, healthy northwest wind to 16 and a wind gust to 24. That knocks the wind chill down to 12. So it's another one of those days of jackets on kind of day. An area showing up on First Defense Doppler radar, but if we zoom the radar out, you'll be able to see here that we actually do see the introduction of some of the, there it goes, we see the introduction of some of those, lake clouds coming in across the upper Great Lakes. That's ultimately going to bring in a few lake effect snow showers, and high pressure is going to be returning over the second half of the weekend. Let's time it out on Future Scan here. It shows you the idea of a few scattered rain and snow showers through the afternoon here, popping up later this afternoon, and the clouds will ultimately thicken back up again through the afternoon. Those scattered snow showers will continue into tonight and then through the day tomorrow. Not everybody is going to see a snow shower tonight or tomorrow, but where you do, you could see at least about an inch or so of accumulation out of it, and then that tapers off as we go into Sunday. The sun will return on Sunday, and then the warm temperatures go up from there. So additional snowfall totals, this goes all the way through Sunday morning. Yeah, in some spots you could see at least an inch or two in some spots. I think the better chance for the 1 or 2 inches is likely going to be on the highest hill. So the zone forecast, the inland areas today, this is where we're going to top out today. Again, not much change from where we were yesterday. Likely upper 20s will do it, and some late day snow showers. Now I present to you the future in high definition, brought to you by 42 degrees and sunny. 25 tomorrow, 31 on Sunday, a cold and sunny day. Here we go on Monday, 47, 51 on Tuesday. We feel confident we could hit 60 on Wednesday with lots of sunshine, and then a cold, relatively speaking, 55 with a few rain showers next Thursday. We'll take a break and be right back. Don't go away. First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smoking deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. In an effort to help animals find their forever home, we're partnered with the Chautauqua County Humane Society in my favorite segment called the Pet of the Week. Joining us live is Amanda Sublett to talk more about this week's featured furry friend. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Justin. I have my friend here, Gare Bear. He is 2 years old and he's a special boy because he came to us. He was hit by a car and he had a fractured pelvis. So he's been here a little while with some cage rest to heal that up. He's lucky we didn't have to do surgery. But we felt very special with him and we wanted to name him after the finder, whose name was Gary. So Gare Bear here is super friendly. He's super social. You can tell he hasn't slowed down one bit. He loves dogs. He loves to play. You can tell he likes to cuddle too.
Yeah, certainly. You have all of the amazing characteristics of a best friend. How much does the rehabilitation play into the things that you do every day there at the Humane Society? Because it sounds like that's really life-changing work where in a not such a great situation, you can help folks like our Gare Bear here come back on his feet.
It really does take a play. It may not be every day, but it is very constant. We do have medical rehabilitation in his case and others that are similar. We also have behavioral needs. Some of them need a little bit of extra work and time to just work out those stressors and become that cat or dog that we always dreamed of.
Yeah, certainly. And he really seems like he has a great attitude, kind of chilling with you now. How else does he react? Have you been able to test him around any children yet? Do you think he'd be good for a family?
Absolutely. He loves everybody, honestly.
Certainly. And is there, I know in the past your group has a wonderful setup there at the Chautauqua Mall where people can come in contact with some of these animals on a one-on-one basis, because you can watch them here on the broadcast and you get a good feel, but if you're really interested, I imagine the best way is to meet them in person. How can people do that? Is he going to have any public appearances anytime soon?
Our next event at the mall is our St. Patrick's Day event on the 12th and 13th of the month. The 12th will be there from 3 to 7 and 13th from 12 to 4. And then if you wanted to meet before then, you can fill out one of our adoption applications and set an appointment for in the shelter.
Yeah, certainly. And that's a super easy process. All you have to do is log on to chqhumane.org, look up our buddy Gare Bear here, and get things going. So certainly, Amanda, thanks so much for joining us today. And thank you to Gare Bear as well for being such a great cat. And if anyone is interested at all, he certainly looks like such a beautiful guy and looking for an awesome home.
Yes, thank you.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. We remind you, when you're on the go, you can simply stay in the know by downloading that mobile app. It's free right now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Dakota and I are back on Monday live here at noon. We hope to see you then. Have a great weekend.